Good morning. It's or afternoon. It's what day is it? It's Thursday, April 2nd, and I'm just going to go over the most commonly requested problems, and then I'll do a separate video where I'll go over all the rest. And I'm doing these live, so I'm not. I haven't looked at this at all in terms of gotten ready for them. But I mean, I'll admit I've seen these problems before. So if there's some like sneaky surprise, then I'll probably be able to figure them out. Okay. And I'm not scrolling. There we go. Now I'm scrolling. Okay. So first, number 8 was the first requested problem. Okay. Riemann sum. We have to integrate 2 to 13. Left Riemann sum. Okay. And yeah, left Riemann sum. All right. So this thing is going through 2. And then it goes to 3, and then it goes to 5, and then 8, and then 13. These things aren't even. And we're using a left sum, so the y value here is 6. So this is an area of 6. And then the next one is the y value is -2 at -3. So that's -2. Okay, so I get it. So the first area would be 1 times 6. And the next one would be width of 2 plus 2 times -3. And then the next one would be 3 units wide from 5 to 8. And the height is -1 because that'd be the height at 5. Yep. And then at 8, the width of that one is from 8. Sorry, the handwriting's bad, to 13. So that'd be 5. And the height on that would be 3. So it's 15, 21. I'm adding them up. So it's 21 minus 6. 5 times 3 is 15. And the width of that is 1. Yeah, so 21 minus 3 is 18. Minus 6 is 12. What am I doing wrong? Okay, width of 1, height of 6. Width of 2, height of... Oh, -2. Why did I write -3? I don't know. Okay, now it adds up. Now it's 21 minus 7, which is 14. So I'm going to answer B. Next one. Okay, I'm trying to find which one is the greatest. It's all g of something. Okay, and g is integral from -2. So for -3, that would be the integral from -2 to -3. Which if you went from -3 to -2, that would be positive, but you're going -2, -3, so that's going to be negative. So that's going to be a negative number. I'm probably not going to do that. G of -2 would be the integral from -2 to -2. That's 0. And then G of 0 is this area, and G of 1 would add on that area. So that's got to be bigger. I shouldn't be working out these values. And then G of 2 is going to be all the way here, but that's going to give it some negative stuff, so that's going to put it down. So the answer is G of 1, because that's when you hit the maximum. Next one, that was 8, 9, and then 11. Let R be the region between that and the x-axis for x greater than 3. So it's, okay, so this is an improper integral, right? So it's going from 3, and we're finding the area of R, and e to the -2x, that's like a e to the -x, but shrunk, but I don't need to pay attention to that just for the graph. It's going to look like that. And we're finding the area from 3 to infinity. Okay, so it's just an integral. And, it could be infinite, so I got to watch out for one that diverges. All right, so it's the limit as b goes to infinity of the integral from 3 to b of this thing, of e to the -2x dx. So need a little Lindstrom. So that's going to be limit, and it's going to be -1/2 times, that goes away, and so e to the -2, that, so it's going to be 1 over e to the 2b minus 1 over, that does the negative, plug in 3, yeah, so it's e to the 6th. And it's a limit as b goes to infinity, so that's going to become 0. That goes away, so this thing converges. And then And so that's gone. So now it's just 1/2, negative 1/2 times negative. That's positive. I like that. And so it's 1 over 2e to the 6th. There it is. Sweet. I will let you know I'm not checking answers. So I might have made some mistake. And that's, I mean, I think that's part of the process. So I'm happy to, subject. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, the line x plus y equals k, number 18. X plus y equals k. K is a constant, tangent to that. What is the value of k? Wow, okay. So, all right, so this is some parabola, negative b over 2a. It's, I mean, I don't know what it looks like exactly, but it's something like this. Okay, so there's a point where the slope, where it's tangent to this, oh, but it has to be this line. Okay, this is a slope of -1. So it's some line that's going through like that. Oh, so I need to know when the derivative of this is -1. Okay, so y prime is 2x plus 3, and I need that to be equal to -1. And so I get 2x equals -4, x equals -2. I like it from the graph. Cool. So, but I need to know what k is. It's not that. That's the x value. K is going to be the y-intercept here. Oh, I just plug in and find x. Okay, yeah. So, and so if, find y. So if x is -2, then y is going to be 4 minus 6 plus 2. No, plus 1. Boy, pay attention, David. There we go. 4 minus 6 plus 1. That's right, so 5. So y equals -1. And so x plus y is -3. Here's hoping. Next one is 22. We got 22, 24, 25. And then one calculator problem. Okay. If the integral of that, oh, tricky. Okay. All right, we're integrating. If the integral of this is 5, then what's the integral of that? Okay, let me think about this a second. I'm seeing some like product rule things going on here, and so I'm thinking integration by parts for a second here. Yeah, so if I make if I call I don't want to integrate this one. I want to integrate this one instead. So I don't want to integrate g. I want to integrate g prime. So we're going to call u equal to g of x. And so du, so it's going to work, I think so, is going to be g prime of x. And then maybe there's a better way to do this, but this is the way I came up with. dv is f prime of x dx. So v is f of x. Okay. And so this integral, so the integral here, which is 5, because that's what it's equal to, integral of u dv, yeah, that's what I got, is 5, is equal to uv, okay, g of x, f of x, minus the integral of v du, which is what I wanted, the integral of v du, so it's f of x, g prime of x, there's dx, cool. All right, and now we need to solve for this. So what's g of x, f of x? Now the key thing is I'm integrating it from 0 to 1, so I have to do these things from 0 to 1 also. That's one little catch on this that we only see on these weird problems. So we need to evaluate this from 0 to 1 also. So g of x, f of x at 1 is 12 minus g of x, f of x at 0 is -8. So that's 20. minus this integral, which I'm happy with. And so I'd add this over and bring this over. So it's 20 minus 5. So I'm getting, that's the integral. So, this would be f of x. Okay, I'm writing more than I would if I was doing the test because I got the answer now. So then I need to solve for this thing, which I've got right here. So I'm going to bring it over to the other side and bring the 5 over. So the integral of f of x g prime of x dx equals this, which is 20 minus and the 5. And so that's why I'm saying it's 15. Woohoo, here's hoping. Okay, now I'm doing the one that was most commonly requested, 24. Wow. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, I was wondering, as I saw 24 was clearly the most commonly requested. The big thing to remember with logistic functions is that dp, whatever it is, dt, is going to be some constant times x times the limiting factor minus x. So we need to see it that way, and so we're going to have to figure out which one this is. Now, one of the things is because of that, and I mean, I'm sorry, whoa, it's not x, it's y. It's p, and then p minus x, whatever yeah, so it's like the limiting factor. So, oh no, spacing out on this. I gotta review these too. So it's actually, no, it's y, and then y, and then the limiting factor minus y. There we go. It's a lot easier when you see it, when you are setting it up yourself. So we need to have it look this way. So we're going to, well, first off, I'm just going to cross that off because it needs to be minus. Second off, you'd factor out the p, out of this thing, right? And so the p would get factored, but they would get factored out of all of these. You can see all of those are the same, right? And then we need to have y just by itself here, which in this case is the p. Is that's the p is the y value. So I factor p out. Oh, and so yeah, we need the y's, which is p's. We need that to be negative, and so these two are out, and it's either a or b is what I'm getting. So so what the heck's a constant? How do I find what this thing is? Well, first you can factor one p out, and so yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the easiest way to explain this, or to do this. I mean, I would, because I don't want to work with both these at the same time. That's kind of a pain. So let me just go with what the basic form is. It would be, in this case, dp dt equals p, equals some constant times p times 200 minus p. Right? That's what the format is. And when you multiply it through, you'd have, so it's going to be k, 200k times p minus kp squared. So the coefficient on the p, that's 200 times a constant, and so I'm trying to see, and then constant is what's multiplying the p squared. So they're telling me the constant is 0.001, and 200 times 0.001 must be, yes it is, 0.2, so I'm saying A. Boy, we're going to find out in a little bit if that's right. I'm going to look at 25 and see if I can answer it in a minute and a half. I might, but I don't want to give it a shot. So, so let's take a look at the answers. I'm going to pause it, look at the answers, and tell you if I need to change anything.